I'm going to go ahead and start my problem. 1540 plus, I need a tip. Let's figure out what that tip is. We have 15%. A good benchmark would be 10% and 5%. So 10% of 1540 is $1.54. We know that by moving the decimal. And then 5% is half of 10%. So let's take half, and that would give us 77 cents. Adding that up for my 15%, I have $2.31. This is my tip. $2.31. But I want to know how much was the taxi fare. Not just the tip, but I want to know how much the whole fare is, so I have to add it up together. So it's very important to check what the question is asking you. Did it want the tip, the amount of the tip, or did it want how much the entire taxi cab ride cost? And that would be the taxi fare. Number 2, we're going to buy a pair of jeans that is 33% off of the original price of $29. And I want to know, this is the important part, what is the sale price? Not how much off it is, but what is the final price? What am I going to pay when I get to the cash register? So when we see off, we are going to subtract. So we're going to have a problem where I take my original price and I will subtract my discount. So we'll have to figure that out. What is that discount? So we need to figure out what is 33% of $29. Benchmark fractions that would be helpful are 10% and 3 1%. Let's squeeze that in there. So let's see what 10% is. 10% of $29 is $2.90. I need 3 of those to make 30%. And 1%, remember we move the decimal 2 places to the left. So 1% of $29 is 29 cents. So if I add all of these up, I'm going to have 33%, which is equal to $9.57. So my discount is $9.57. Let me just erase this so it's a little neater. And I need to subtract. Remember to line up your decimals. So subtracting gives me $19.43. So that's how much the jeans are going to cost me after 33% off. Now we're going to a restaurant and we're going to order a meal that costs $12. The sales tax is 5%. What is the total cost of the meal? So we are going to have a meal. We're going to have tax, which is adding, and we want to know the total cost. So since we know we're going to be adding a tax, we'll set that problem up and let's figure out what 5% is. To do that, we are going to have to find 10% first, which is $1.20. And now I can take half of that to get 5%, which is 60 cents. So I have 60 cents is my tax, so my entire meal cost $12.60. So let's figure out what is the percent that we are discounting or that we are taxing. So on the back side of your paper, we have a proportion. And we need to figure out how we are going to find that tax amount or that discount amount using this proportion. So we have percent over 100. This is our percent. This is the part that's going to be missing. And then we have a part over total. So when we look at that, the part is going to be your discount or your tax amount, and the total is going to be your original or your base price. So this is your part of your original, and this is your original amount. So that's what that fraction is going to look like. And then for the percent, this is where we're going to have to use a variable for that missing percent value. So let's try out on some examples. Let's use that proportion. We have a DVD that sells for $15. This week it's on sale for $1.50. What is the discount rate? So we don't know what that rate is, so we're going to find the rate as a variable. Percent means out of 100, so that's the ratio. And we want the original price and that part. So the part is, this is the amount off right here. That's my part. So we have $1.50. And my whole, my total, is the original amount. It sells for $15. So we know that when we do proportions, we are going to cross multiply and divide. So I'm going to take $1.50, multiply that by 100.